Plaza tonight. And then finally, we want to talk about the TikTok Shop. Does anyone shop on TikTok? I actually just started doing this. Anthony's raising his hand. My husband said, stop shopping on TikTok. Okay, but you know what? It's hard when every deal is like $3. Anyway, sales, as you can imagine, have skyrocketed. Just how much? Actually, we're going to tell you how it's changing the retail game. And the big question that we have is, where do you shop online the most? Text us 314-425-5355. We would love to know, because basically we want to shop better. But yeah, get involved. You are +1. In the meantime, I'm going to walk over to the desk and I'll see you over there. Today in St. Louis Plus starts right now.
Welcome. Great job, Michelle Lee, by the way. Running right over there. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us on 5 Plus, our new show, right after it goes off the air on Channel 5. We're right over here with all the updates and the fun and news, everything important.
Yeah, everything important. I'm glad to see you guys. And you know what? I just got to say, well, we're finally everyone's back in school now.
Oh, yeah. Spring break
ended.
Yeah.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Oh, boy, you are not kidding. Even with a college kid.
But you had a college kid come home.
Yeah, she was great all last week from Mizzou, and wonderful, but, you know, it's kind of good to not have the pressure to be a good dad. I gotta be a good dad.
I know.
I gotta be a good dad. What?
I can't nap during the day.
Yes.
Oh, I know. That's so hard, though, too. Well, we're so excited that you are a +1 this morning. Our big question of the day is a very easy one. Where do you shop online the most? I will tell you a real quick story if we've got time. So I made a big mom fail. My kid is starting swim week this week.
Okay.
So they're going to go to the pool every day. They need goggles and, you know, all these little things. Well, I thought I knew where the goggles were. About 9 o'clock last night, mass panic in our house.
Oh, yes.
So I usually go to, in an emergency like that, I go to Amazon, I go to Shipt to try to get Target.
Yeah.
Nothing can get it at 9 a.m. Nothing can get it before school started. Everything was like 9 a.m.
Oh, I bet.
But I found one place that delivered overnight.
What was it?
Should I say it right now?
Yes.
Walmart.
Oh. Walmart.
You can pay
All
like
right.
$15. You can get it delivered in 3 hours, even if it's overnight.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
Is it there yet? Or
It's
is that crazy?
there. My kid's
Okay.
my kid's probably waking up right now on the way to school.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, but I never knew that before. So
That's
anyway,
great.
would love to know where people are shopping the most, including TikTok.
I
Don't
never
you love when those
assume you know what
anxiety
something
moments
is.
turn to victories?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Well, I put in the group chat
Well,
like to all the moms, like,
yeah.
please help me,
Yeah.
because
Wow.
even little JJ goes. I said, buddy, what if we can't find the goggles in the morning? He goes, I'd be really disappointed. It's like, okay.
That's what I'm talking about right
Those
there. You
little
don't want to be
kids.
disappointing.
I was like, oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you did it.
Yeah, I did it.
Celebrate the small victories.
He's like, I wouldn't be sad. I'd be disappointed.
I know. I was like, how does he get that?
That's really funny.
Anyway,
Very cool.
I was
You ordered
disappointed
some-
about the weekend a little bit.
What
Oh,
is that?
sorry.
He ordered for for the Cardinal opening. And I don't want to take Anthony's story, but he ordered something online.
Okay.
I
Let's
was
hear
just
about
going
it.
to keep it moving, but since you brought it up.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't have earbuds to go out
Oh.
live on Friday, and I was at home at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I thought, oh no, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I door dashed them.
Nice.
Yeah.
DoorDashed.
But
Yes.
it was expensive.
AirPods.
Yeah, I know. It's
But
expensive,
I
but
needed
you got to
them
do
for the
it.
show, so, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if I can put them in the work expense. Write them off.
Well, to your tax guy, maybe.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Tax
right.
girl, tax guy.
All right. Well,
Yes.
I think we're going to talk about weather
Yeah,
because
you
we had a
think?
lot of weather
We
over the course of the
did, yes.
weekend. Sunday, those storms rolled through. But I tell you what, guys, we really missed the worst of the weather here.
That's great.
And it doesn't happen often. I know folks get disappointed when we don't get the big storm that we've been forecasting all week, but
I'm happy.
it's a blessing.
Yeah.
You know, we like
Oh,
to
yeah.
complain, but it's a blessing. We need to count our blessings when we miss these storms. And that one did miss us for the majority of the area. There were some spots that got some small hail, but only a couple of cities that got ping pong ball sized hail. So that's obviously, you know, damaging, but, you know, we didn't have any tornadoes. And that's the
Good.
great news. Yes,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah,
good
wonderful.
news to report. Nothing to complain about. In fact, it's Monday and the complaint hotline's usually closed.
That's
Got hit by
right.
hail.
Yeah, we
That's
we
right.
keep that thing closed on Monday. We don't want to hear about your bad over the course of the weekend. We're going to go over to the weather wall and do some weather here this morning. And let's take a deep dive into all of our weather headlines because we do have dry weather coming today and tomorrow. A chance to catch the break. And I don't know about your yard, But I've been trying to cut the grass and get the leaves off. It is just too soggy. Just cannot get that lawnmower out. Can't even walk on the grass without hearing the squishy sounds. And so I think today and tomorrow we're going to have a chance to dry out. Unfortunately, it's just going to be cool though. We're not going to get a lot of warm sunshine. We do have strong storms in the forecast for Wednesday, mainly afternoon, mainly evening. And I know when we get to this time of year, it kind of sounds like a broken record, but March and April, even May, those are the months where we get the highest amount of severe weather. And so we're just getting started. I know sometimes you think, oh, another alert, another chance of severe storms, here we go again. And sometimes it just makes you want to just flip everything off, right, and just check out. Well, we don't want you to do that. I know it can be a little bit of a nuisance, and as mentioned, sometimes we miss the worst of the weather, and hopefully we can do that again on Wednesday, but you just never know. Mother Nature, especially this time of year, the weather can be very volatile, sometimes dangerous, sometimes life-threatening. So we go towards the end of the week, and aside from the severe weather, we may actually have heavy rain set in for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so we're getting to that time of year where you hear the term April showers bring May flowers, but for us, a lot of the time, April showers bring flooding because it just is relentless and it doesn't ever seem to let up. So here we go, getting into that time of year where the pattern is a wet one. Wednesday, that's our first chance of storms for this week. We're talking afternoon and evening hours, and yes, all the typical culprits on the table: wind, hail, and tornadoes even. Now, this risk for Wednesday, it is an enhanced risk. This is the same risk we had for Sunday, and also almost the exact same locations from places like Chicago, Cincinnati, down into Memphis and Arkansas, and even us here in the St. Louis area. So we will be watching this closely. And of course, when we get to Wednesday, we're in the thick of it. You can flip us on to all of our platforms: YouTube, right here on the 5 Plus app, on television, on the Channel 5 that you watch, old school TV. Yeah, that's where we'll be for you on Wednesday. This morning, if you're traveling down south, that's where the severe weather is still erupting across the tail end of the front. So heads up there, you may encounter some airport delays. And if you have family and friends in Alabama, Mississippi, or Louisiana, just give them a quick text or call. Say, hey, you're okay? Because again, storms are moving through that area right now as we speak. Here's our next system. You see it swirling off the west coast, bringing in that rain and mountain snow. And for us, that is going to move on in as we head towards Wednesday. A strong line of storms going to form, and even gusty winds could be with us by then. So if you're headed out right now, it's a cloudy one. Both Missouri and Illinois, and those temperatures are in the 40s. Wind chills are in the 30s right now. So it is a cool start to the day. We're going to see highs in the 50s. So grab the jackets, and you may need to keep them around through the entire day with some late day sun. We'll talk about Wednesday's storm threat and the end of the week coming up in full. Let's talk to Paul Cook now and get back to traffic and see what the updates are. Hey, Paul.
Hello, Anthony. Thank you very much for going into that. Right now, we're going to go into what's happening in one accident. It was earlier in the commute in the 6 o'clock hour, but it is still affecting us here out there. And this is the big map. And you can see we followed that color, right? We want to make sure we see where the red and the orange, even the yellow, but red is the one that where you can find yourself bumper to bumper out there. I'm going to go back here. I think I do have a shot of 4 different roads nearby. Yeah, but well, hey, let's look here. This is 270 at Marshall. We're looking south, and it does appear that accident's been cleared. So good news there. Looking over here at the 4, one of them is, which one of these kids is doing the wrong thing? Sorry, his own thing. Did you ever watch Saturday Night? Yeah. Sorry, Saturday Night Sesame Street. Anyway, that would be fun. Anyway, the one on the upper right is going the wrong direction, but we still do have a delay at Tesson Ferry. So the accident had been a little bit further north at 44. Now it's been removed, but you do have a delay that's still there. And in Illinois, same story. We have a little bit heavier volume there. And then what about 6440 coming out of Brentwood past the Galleria and headed towards downtown? We are seeing a delay right there as well, 14 miles an hour. And then you just have some police cars there on the right side of 70 eastbound right at the merge, or where you would then be able to go to the MLK or Poplar, not causing a delay. But that 14-mile-an-hour one, that is a little bit of a bigger delay than we would expect at that moment. So we will keep a close eye on it, and we will go over all that traffic coming up for you here on 5 Plus today in St. Louis Plus coming up, Michelle.
All right, thanks so much, Paul. You know, a lot of people have been sending in some of their pictures from the hail damage that we received over the weekend. Take a look. This is hail in Oakville. I would say this is more of that ping pong size hail that we've been seeing. And you know what? I will say that some of our storm damage here looks like it is from the last storm as well. But this is hail in Concord. You can see there, a lot of people reported that pea-sized hail. So let me see if I can find some pictures of that. Actually, I need to refresh this. So that might be probably an issue. Yeah. So anyway, we've received a lot of pictures. Please keep them coming if you can do it safely, of course. But yeah, lots of hail across the area, lots of visibility issues. And then we saw some incredible clouds. We saw, oh my gosh, what is it? What is it? Anthony, help me. Mammatus clouds, and then we also saw shelf clouds too. So some of you have some really incredible pictures. Oh, here's one that we were talking about, hail in Sunset Hills. So you can just see how it's covering the whole lawn there. And if you can imagine being on the road and that impacting your visibility. Please keep the pictures coming. We've been getting pictures all morning long, 314-425-5355. Let us know where you were and what you saw. And you can always send us pictures. Just make sure that you do it safely. All right, Paul, kicking it back over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Michelle. Of course, you're talking about storms right there. What about on 3/14? A couple weeks ago, all those dangerous storms. Well, there's good news coming out of it, at least some recovery, and that is in Rolla. Their public schools are going to reopen after such a long time here, and that's for the first time since those deadly storms. And EF2 tornado got them. You can see the pictures here. Oh, look at those. Many schools devastated after the town was hit with that one. And yeah, just going to be a lot of cleanup and take some time. But it's good to know the kids are back at most of the schools here. They're not going to have the same, maybe it's heat, maybe other amenities, internet, and after school stuff. They want you to know may not be on as scheduled, as normally scheduled, but at least they're back on.
Yeah, at least they're back on.
Yeah, that's really good.
Good news there.
And we're almost 1 week away from the St. Louis mayoral. Anthony and I were just talking about, I cannot believe it's already time for that election. Tonight, residents have another opportunity to go ahead and meet the candidates. Greater Mount Carmel Baptist Church here. That's Kings Highway, just north of Euclid. That's where you can see it. The event is, of course, free, and the doors open at 6 p.m. to meet the candidates.
Countdown is on. Meanwhile, though, there is a brand new poll that we want to talk about, and it's showing that a growing uphill battle for Mayor Tashara Jones's re-election bid. And this is really nothing new if you've been following the polls and kind of this race in itself. But the Missouri Scout poll shows her challenger, Alderwoman Kara Spencer, has a 55% lead, a 55% support, I should say. So that is actually 24 points more than our current mayor, Mayor Jones. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, asked the mayor about the new poll at an event over the weekend.
How do you turn that around in 9 days?
Well, we're focusing on turnout. We got to increase turnout. We got to let people know what's at stake in this race. And we've got a ton of community partners working to do that. And we'll see what happens on election night.
Now, in 2021, Jones got 51% of the vote to beat Spencer, who received 47% of the vote. So it was already close that last time as well. Yeah. We also want to let you know that today is International Trans Day of Visibility. Just hours from now, groups all across the country are going to rally for the rights of transgender and non-binary people.
Yeah, and a rally is going to happen right here in St. Louis. International Day, so maybe it's just everywhere as well. But in St. Louis as well, that rally is going to start at 5:30 at Keener Plaza. What a great place to meet. And then they're going to march off there and go to City Hall steps, and they're going to do speeches and drag performances there.
Oh, great. So a lot of people will be out tonight, I'm sure. Hope everyone stays safe and has a good time.
Some good pictures, too, I bet. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, over the weekend, dealerships were really busy as well. And maybe if you were watching today in St. Louis, you heard one of the guys who makes cars talking about the tariffs and how that could raise prices here. Well, a new percent on tariff imposed on vehicles. Is it vehicles? Is going to start this week.
Yeah, and parts too. So
yeah, and the parts.
This is all really big. Amy Kiley shows us how domestic automakers are getting ready and also how other countries are retaliating.
You'd start with all countries.
President Donald Trump now says reciprocal tariffs he plans to unveil Wednesday are on the table for all nations. That's after the Treasury Secretary told Fox Business earlier this month the focus was on those with the largest trade deficits. Trump also now says any deal related to the duties will come after they begin.
The tariffs will be far more generous than those countries were to us.
Meanwhile, 25% tariffs on imported vehicles are scheduled to start Thursday. Duties on parts are set to follow.
Most likely prices are going to go up by a few $1,000s at least, but it would vary from brand to brand and maybe even from model to model.
Trump says he, quote, couldn't care less if car prices rise so long as more manufacturing comes to the U.S. Analysts say a major supply chain shift would take years. In the meantime, U.S. companies would have to pay the tariffs. Economists say that likely would raise prices for consumers.
You can't overrule the laws of economics with an executive order any more than you can overrule the laws of gravity.
Experts say those laws of economics apply to more than just cars. They predict Trump's other tariffs also will raise prices and lower demand.
When you combine that lesser demand with what we're seeing in the decline of consumer investor confidence, you could well see a slowing of the economy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Makes you wonder if used cars, those prices will go up. You know how it kind of did during the pandemic.
And I already bought a really high priced car, you know, a couple of years ago. I mean, because of like parts or something, you know. So.
Yeah, I don't want to pay more.
I know.
Okay, so
what's
real
that
quick,
little red dot or red area?
Thank you for asking what the little red area is, and thank you for not listening. Okay, you can see it right there at the top. I know what you're saying. Where's the location of that? It's 6440. We are going westbound right here. That begins downtown Kings Highway and gets all the way to, well, past Vandeventer and even past Kings Highway. 14 miles an hour. Not too great there. I want to show you the delay that we have. 270 northbound. It is improving. You can see we don't have red there anymore. We have orange, which would be in the 40 mile an hour range. And I can kind of show you going all the way up here. This is where we talked about the Merrimack making a big right. Righty as it goes boom to boom, and well, you could find yourself in a delay there, but nothing major. Let me kind of go over here. I want to click back and just see if we can look at the big map and see if it does show us. Yeah, the big map shows it's just not too terrible out there. We were talking about it earlier that spring breaks are over and folks are getting back probably to their normal volume, and so far it hasn't been terrible. I'm a little worried. I definitely 270 to 44 is a way to, in a way, kind of judge the rest of the commute, kind of a tone setter. It's not the case right now, but this could change on a dime, and we want to make sure you know about it. If it happens, you're in the right spot. Our 5 Plus show does just that, and one of the reasons it was created. So that's all I've got. Let's take it over here to Anthony Slaughter talking about this weather. Could we call this a brief respite from the storms?
Yes, I think so. It's going to feel like winter, too, I tell you. A brief respite from spring, actually. Yeah, we're going to go back towards the chillier days today and tomorrow. The number right now at St. Louis Lambert is 41, but there are a lot of 30s on the map. In Chesterfield, you're at 39, same in Alton, Flora, Illinois. Farmington, you're right at 40, and Sullivan, 37 degrees. There's also a breeze, and so the wind chill is down near 30 this morning. Oh, sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? Yeah, we'll get to 58 today. Yesterday we were at 78, so this is a good 20 degrees colder today. Yeah, very chilly. Even 54 in Belleville and only 50 for the high today in Mount Vernon. Flora, Illinois may not get out of the 40s for highs today. So our pattern starting off cool this week. Today and tomorrow are dry days, but look at the chances of rain. They ramp up as we go towards Wednesday. That's our next weather impact alert day for storms. But Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're going to have rain around, and we could actually have some heavy rain depending on how the scenarios play out, because we've got one system right after the next coming in for Thursday, then another one for Friday that could linger into Saturday. So Wednesday's the day when it all gets going. That's when we're going to have the greatest risk of severe storms from Chicago, Cincinnati to right here in St. Louis down into Memphis and Arkansas. This is almost the exact same scenario that we had unfold on Sunday. Almost all of us in that enhanced risk, that's a level 3 risk. And so all of the components are on the table when it comes to damaging wind, large hail, and even tornadoes, all in the forecast for Wednesday. So let's go to the Futurecast and get you into Wednesday. Today, the clouds will clear away this evening. We'll have clear skies this evening, and then the first part of tonight. Jacket weather certainly in place today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, the clouds increase in the evening, so we'll turn mostly cloudy once again, and that sets the stage for our storms for Wednesday. In the morning on Wednesday, the storms will fire up from Kansas City back towards Kansas, and then by lunchtime, they should be from Quincy to Columbia and to Springfield. This is in the afternoon when it arrives for us here in St. Louis about 2, 3 o'clock, and then shifts off towards the east as it continues to strengthen. Notice that bright red and some of the pink. That's exactly what we had set up yesterday. Hail cores, gusty wind, especially when this all congeals into a line. That's when you really get those gusty winds. On top of the severe weather, we're also going to have a risk for heavy rain set up by the end of the week. Right now, the prediction is 2 to 5 inches of rain for St. Louis Metro. But notice these bright red colors. You look at the key, that's pushing close to 10 inches of rain for places like Cincinnati, Louisville, Kentucky, Memphis, Tennessee. So if you're traveling that direction, heads up, not great weather on the way. Really, not only for us, but all across the Midwest and South for the end of the week. So there you go. Weather Impact 7-day forecast shows the cool trend to start. 50s and 60s today and tomorrow. Weather Impact alert for Wednesday, and then more rain for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as we ease into the weekend, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Anthony. Have you guys ever heard of this thing called Netflix?
What's that?
Yeah, it's a new thing. It only changed basically how we watch TV and killed movie theaters.
And Blockbuster.
And Blockbuster and so many things. And remember, you can mail order.
Yeah.
They're like, you got anything back there with my name on it from Netflix? Like, no, now you don't have to do that. Of course, 30 years ago, they began that. And I mentioned the movie theaters. I mean, crazy. They're going to have movie theaters, Netflix movie theaters. And yeah, this news came out last year. Now they are starting to open. There are two opening here in the next few months. One in Philadelphia, one in Dallas. Netflix House, it's called.
Oh, wow.
Netflix House. And then there's 3 others, by the way, New York City, LA, Pacific Palisades.
Okay.
But the deal is you'll get merchandise there. You'll see only Netflix shows, new movies, because Netflix has won the Academy Award for Best Picture a couple times already. So it's very interesting. My question is, would you go to a Netflix theater? By the way, you can have themed food at the Netflix theater as well. So you got Squid Games, fries, and things like that. I'm curious about it. And is it a risk of them to take it out like that, to go to an actual brick and mortar theater?
When you said Squid Games, I was thinking of dried squid. That is like the rave in Korea.
Oh my gosh.
At movie theaters.
Squid Game, calamari.
Yeah, and if that's not your thing, it's smells like dried squid. So I was like, where's the popcorn?
Maybe they couldn't do that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I listened to this whole podcast about this situation like a year ago.
Yes.
So I didn't realize this. So basically, in order to, the process of winning an Oscar is very detailed, and you have to campaign.
Yes.
And because of that, you also have to have a theater release.
Oh.
So this is why sometimes Netflix was trying to get into theaters.
Interesting.
So that they could actually have their Netflix-owned movie up for an Oscar.
Yes.
So I think this is all strategy, because if you win the Oscar, then of course that means you get more money.
Yeah, it helps
in the
promote
playback,
your movies, right?
So it's not just the theatrical release. It's like back in the day, who actually did this? It was the Weinstein Group. This is that said
They really campaigned for Oscars.
Yes, and they campaigned for
Pulp
Oscars,
Fiction.
and they would say, okay, not only do we want to have this theatrical release, if it wins the Oscar, that was their strategy.
Yeah.
Then they will get Blockbuster rentals and all these other things that will end up making millions and millions of dollars.
Wow, it's pretty smart.
There's a whole thing there. I mean, I don't want to bring up
that's
Harvey
really
Weinstein,
interesting.
but it's this idea, I think, according to the podcast that I listened to, was
Podcasts.
basically saying, okay, yeah, if Netflix has Netflix houses and then they can put their own products in there, then they can make that journey to Oscar-winning movies a reality.
Interesting.
And then more money.
They have won Oscars though, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But maybe because they have these. The thing I found fascinating is just their kind of innovation, and it almost seems going backwards.
Yeah.
But they're so innovative, and you know why they became so famous, right? You know why Netflix blew up.
Why?
High-speed internet.
Oh, high-speed
Being
internet,
able to
yeah.
get it. That's an amazing thing. So, okay, all right, we are so happy you're with us. We've got
Yeah.
traffic, weather updates. Michelle over there at that Surface thing. It's going to be really cool. I love that you're listening to podcasts. It's kind of like a podcast. We'll be right back on Today in St. Louis Plus.
Watch 5 on your side at 10 every night.
For breaking news every night.
Take a look back there and you can see those flashing police lights. This is all happening right now.
These firefighters here have been working non-stop.
For stories in your community every night.
This is the new norm in St. Charles County.
Now to a state of emergency in St. Louis County.
To stay informed and to stay safe every night.
Stay with 5 on your side as we work to get you answers.
A lot can happen in a day.
So we are here every night.
That's how 5 on your side is focused on you.
Today in St. Louis is weather plus traffic.
Waking up with chilly air this morning, so a weather impact alert.
3 things piling on which could affect your morning commute.
Anthony Slaughter and Paul Cook have you covered. Out the door, on the roads.
The numbers do not lie. It's very cold this morning.
A tumultuous commute. That's what you're dealing with.
I'll tell you what weather to expect and when it will arrive.
And I'll show you how that will impact your drive.
Get your weather plus traffic on Today in St. Louis to start your day safe and prepared.
Good morning from downtown St. Louis. I'm Sydney Stallworth. New overnight, a St. Louis officer is injured and was just released from the hospital hours ago after his police SUV was struck by a suspect. The officer was leaving his patrol car when this happened at 12:30 this morning near Peck and Carter, North City. Police say he was trying to put down spike strips at the time. The suspect was taken into custody. And a road closure out in West St. Louis County could affect your morning commute. We're taking a look at Conway Road from earlier this morning. The westbound lanes will be closed under I-270 as crews continue their work on the interstate bridge. MoDOT does say that this closure will be a long one, lasting through late fall, but you can still detour around it on New Ballas, Ladue, and Mason roads. Let's get on over to Paul, who's been tracking slowdowns this morning. Paul, what's it looking like?
Well, thank you very much, Sydney. Yeah, you can see that bridge there on Conway. That is terrible. If you go up under there and you look, oh, it's deteriorating. So this is absolutely necessary. Real quick here, though, looking at the big map, you can see just a lot of green. We do have one area. This is coming out of the city at Kings Highway and 6440 where you are slow. You're not even as slow at 270 and 44. And then looky here at the Westplex, you're just hitting the brakes on 70 past 370 in St. Charles County. So not bad at all. This is the one I was talking about, though. This is 14 miles an hour and you're going westbound on 6440. Even the Poplar Street Bridge is good right now. What are you doing right now? Make sure you flip over to 5 Plus because that's where we have a show for the next half hour with all the updates.
All right, everyone, we are back live on the plus side. Michelle Lee here, bringing you some of the latest trending stories on KSDK.com. So this is what everyone is clicking on this morning. Something fascinating here is this Missouri grocery store opening its first out-of-state location in Colorado. So if you are a Wood supermarket shopper, you know that it is a store that a lot of people go to, and it is now expanding outside of the Show Me State. By the way, Wood Supermarket has 10 stores in Missouri, but it chose Johnston, Colorado for its first out-of-state locale. So yeah, and it's going to be near the Buc-ee's along Interstate 25 if you drive out that way. But I think that was kind of interesting because they're really excited about it, and that town is growing. Also, you know, to have a Missouri business grow as well. This is also a very big trending story, and it is about hail. So when hail threatens, here's how to protect cars outside of garages. And the reason I think this is interesting, of course, because we had this very large hailstorm over the weekend. And I have this conversation quite a bit with my family. They actually will move their cars to one of the casinos because they have underground parking. And this is what the experts are saying. Yeah, if you can actually have time to go park under a carport or a garage or a public parking garage, that's the best. But here are some other tips which I think are pretty interesting. This is from AAA. They say you can buy a hail cover. You can also put blankets or towels on your car if you know that a hailstorm is coming. You can use car floor mats. Make sure you also pull in your side mirrors as well. This is to protect the glass in your mirror. And invest in comprehensive auto insurance. So collision and liability insurance do not cover hail damage. The average cost of a hail damage repair is $6,543. Experts are saying, hey, you know what? very easy actually to total a car. Let me see if I can pull this up for you, and I might have to get out of the way for a second. Let me see. We were actually trying to show you some more pictures, but it's just going to take me a minute here. You know what? Sometimes this jumps back and forth depending on what we're looking at. So let me see if I can open these. But we've had lots of incredible hail pictures from folks. Mostly what we have seen is actually pea-size hail, or we've seen some ping pong sized hail. But here we go. See large hail in Alhambra. Yeah, wind with a quarter to golf ball hail. This was in Festus yesterday. Sorry, Eric, I'm moving around a little bit. But you can see how it's covered. Looks like snow, right? Because there's just so much there as well. And then let me just show you one more, because we were saying, hey, do you know what these clouds are? Do you know what this cloud is? What is it, Paul?
That's a cirrus cloud.
No.
Oh, a Miranmar. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. What is it, Anthony? Let's help him.
A mammatus cloud.
Mammatus cloud.
Those are almost tornado clouds. So whenever you see these, that means the atmosphere is ripe for tornadoes.
Oh my goodness, really?
Doesn't it kind of look like if you're looking up, like if there was ice in water, you're looking up, it almost like hail. You know, you're in the water, looking up, it kind of looks like it's covering the top.
We're looking at it from the ground, right? So you're looking up, and you see how it's kind of coming down, like little cotton balls?
Yeah.
So those are the downdrafts that are trying to form. One of those would be a funnel cloud if the downdraft got strong enough and would start to swirl.
Oh, wow. Fascinating.
So that's the beginning of what you would find whenever you get a tornado.
Okay.
So if you see those in the sky, get inside quick.
Okay.
If you see those in, that's
absolutely.
a good tip, pro tip.
The cotton balls are pretty, but
unless, you know, it's like, you know, a cool day. You have to have warm and cold clashing, right? And that's the thunderstorm activity. Sometimes you can get like a cold funnel cloud, which would not do anything, but, you know, sometimes they're called a cold funnel, which you'd see on just, you know, like a cold, snowy day or something.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sending in that picture.
Absolutely.
We do want to switch gears because there has been this big international headline that we're following this morning out of Myanmar. Have you been watching this? The death toll now. Yeah, it's risen to 1,600 people in this devastating earthquake in Myanmar. Friday morning, a 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit near the city of Mandalay, bringing down countless buildings and destroying city infrastructure. Right now, emergency crews are continuing to search for bodies, all amid the rubble. And this morning, we're also hearing from a St. Louis woman who was in the region on vacation. She was in a hotel room across from a skyscraper that came crashing down, prompting her and others to run for their lives. Brent Solomon actually spoke with this 24-year-old woman about this really terrifying experience.
Micah Chavers of St. Louis is a world traveler. Canada, Belize, the Dominican Republic.
I tried to come to Thailand like a couple of years ago, but things didn't work out for me as far as my flight. I just so happened to miss it. And my sister's like, maybe you shouldn't go to Thailand. I'm like, no, I need to get to Thailand because it's beautiful.
So she went. She's been there a week now, taking in the sights and sounds of her dream vacation.
I want to take a picture with the elephants. I want to take a picture with the tigers. You know, you see the things, you see Phi Phi Island and things of that nature.
So much to do with no signs destruction would follow. Until it did.
My adrenaline just starts rushing. I'm like, I gotta go. I grab my purse with my passport, my money, just in case I have to go. That's the only thing that's important. Forget my suitcase, forget everything else.
Here she is, running to safety after a 7.7 magnitude earthquake destroyed a high-rise across from her hotel.
I'm literally like grabbing the railing on each side and launching my body, jumping down the steps because this is fight or flight.
She makes it out unharmed.
There was a lot of glass that was breaking in the stairwell. There was a lot of glass that was breaking like in the lobby area. It was pretty crazy. People's feet were cut up when we finally got outside from the glass and trying to run. I'm grateful and I'm blessed because I could have been in the mix of it.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Oh, that's incredible there. Now, Micah says that she plans to spend some more time there, not letting this disaster cut her trip short.
Unbelievable.
I mean, lightning can't strike twice, right? Maybe?
Yes.
I don't know. Plus, she says the airports in the area are closed as the country has really declared this state of emergency. So she might not be able to get out.
Yeah, I'll say that's a big reason she's probably staying as well. That's
But
crazy.
we were all living in earthquake-prone areas at one point, you know, in the United States. And so when we were in Seattle, they would say go to the highest point because the ground will liquefy. You said that they said that in San Francisco, too.
Yeah, San Francisco, which I didn't know was built. A lot of the city's built on a landfill, so the ground is already kind of not the best.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, which is so shocking to me. You know, you have these earthquake-prone areas, and then it's like, well, let's just build skyscrapers on a landfill.
On an unstable ground.
Yeah,
Maybe it's more stable than normal dirt.
No, but AT&T Park had to be moved because of that.
Yeah, that was a big
different
deal.
Part of San Francisco.
And in LA, I don't know if it was a similar advice when you're in an earthquake, but I was in one. I was on the 405 moving north into the valley, and all of a sudden I saw the brake lights, and it was like shaking. Yeah, I don't even remember the song I was listening to, which I think I've told you.
Oh my gosh.
Blink 182.
Blink 182.
Yeah, Blink 182.
But you know what? You can't prepare for that. So that's what's even. I mean, you can prepare, but you can't like forecast it. So
Mother Nature, like you
that
said.
is the one thing that you can't forecast. You can prepare, but forecasting, it's like we know it happens, but there's nothing that's like a telltale sign.
Yeah.
You know, except for like aftershocks after it happens.
And we can have it here because of the new Madrid law. All right, well, let's move on because, you know, sorry, now that we've given you something to worry about, let's give you even more things to worry about this morning because a lot of parents are worried about the measles. I cannot believe we are doing this, but a multi-state outbreak has now reached at least 453 cases. On Friday, Texas alone reported 400 cases. New Mexico had 44. Oklahoma reported at least 9. Also, Kansas, this is the big one, Kansas health officials reported 24 measles cases. So, you know, Missouri touches Oklahoma and Kansas. Health experts are trying the case to under vaccination. So, just a quick reminder, a highly effective vaccine is available. 1 to 2 doses of the MMR vaccine is reported to be 93 to 97% effective in preventing infection. Now, you can't even talk about vaccines anymore because people are so politicized about it, but the science says 93 to 97% effective. Why would you
and
not
it was
get it?
eradicated at once.
What do you think? You're right about it's not. It's the vaccination or lack thereof. Why aren't people? What are they not like about the
They just don't
vaccinations?
believe in vaccines. There could be.
period.
They think maybe
about COVID.
Mercury or autism or all these different things.
So many people
right?
didn't want to get
what their
COVID.
claim was. Yeah.
And we didn't even know what the side effects were.
Yeah.
I mean, after a few months and years now we know, but I mean, we know what the side effects of measles. And we know that the vaccine works. I had an uncle die of measles when he was 5.
Oh, no.
His name was Anthony. That's why my name was Anthony.
Wow.
But, you know, it's like, come on. I mean, it's almost like we're reverting back to, and I hate to say it, just being dumb. I mean, think about, you know.
Get the popcorn out.
Think about the first humans that ever existed, cavemen, right? And I mean, you had infections, you had cases of things that they didn't know, right? It's the first time it ever happened. And now we have hundreds of years of science behind it. And we still choose the wrong thing. So it's like, when are we ever gonna mentally all come together and choose the right thing? Not to say that vaccines are right or wrong, but we're in such a divided country now, and world in general.
Right. Penicillin, all these
you
things
bring
that
up
have helped
anything,
to eradicate.
You bring up the weather, political.
I know.
It's like, come on.
I know.
It really irritates
Do we ever make it back?
Because we're not making things better, we're just making it worse for us.
Can we get another thing?
I'll tell you though.
And another thing.
My grandma used to say this. This is a fallen world.
Oh, sure.
You know? And then when
is.
and we work in the news, half the stuff that we hear on the scanners doesn't even make it out to you on the TV set.
Yeah.
You know, there's more bad news that we keep from you just because we don't have enough time to get through all of it. You know what I mean?
The thing that I
Not
worry
enough
about.
photographers.
The thing that I worry about,
Enough
though.
reporters. I'm still going, and I'm going to put my hand in this camera.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but the thing I worry about is like if we don't have herd immunity in a lot of these situations,
I'm bringing
then
it back to
that's
herd
what makes
immunity.
me a little bit nervous
Yeah.
because you know my son has his vaccines, but you want everyone else around you to have the vaccines.
We should have someone in. We should have a specialist in.
Maybe
And
this
then
week.
another thing,
Just to
Anthony
talk
is
about,
gonna.
you know, because he said his vaccination. What happens if someone who has measles comes in contact with JJ?
Well, also, you know, measles stays in the air for like 2 hours after
That
they
was crazy.
go.
I heard that.
So
Yeah.
airports, oh my gosh, you know, like those.
You know what I
scary
think the
things.
death of us is?
What?
Social media. Remember back in the day you had to go to the library And you actually had to research what measles was, right?
Yeah.
And
You had to
figure
get your
out,
encyclopedia.
Go to the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, you had to really get
Now
in
people
there.
get on TikTok and they're like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Because some rando that
And
I
it may
don't
not
know
be the
just
truth.
said something and I'm going to take their word for it.
Yeah. Fake
Anyways,
news.
I work myself up.
I
Let's go to
know,
weather.
you
I don't
really
think we're
did
gonna do
work
that
yourself
now.
up.
I tell you.
That was
Okay,
fun.
well,
And then you wouldn't
let's
think
talk
he'd get to go rest, but he has to go do the weather.
Yeah, and then I got to do more weather. And then I get to go home and take care of kids.
Somebody got triggered.
Everyone.
Of which they are vaccinated, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm one of those people. A pro-vaccinator.
Oh, my.
That's right. Send an email later. I'll delete it. Okay, let's go to weather. I'm going to get my weather clicker. I thought I had my clicker. I had the cell phone. Wrong clicker. Are you enjoying 5 Plus? Are you enjoying Today in St. Louis Plus? This is why they have us here. Informative, but also entertaining. And maybe sometimes annoying. But hey, that's life, right? I mean, think about your person that you love the most. Sometimes they can be annoying too, right? Because I love my kids, but good Lord. Whew. All right, here are your weather headlines for the week ahead. We're going to shift here, go from human to weather person. Cool and dry. Thank you. Whew, Lord help me. All right. Let's go to the weather headlines. You know, something like working with friends. Cool and dry today. That's what we're watching for today and Tuesday. Of course, if you have been watching for a while, we've been talking about Wednesday, our next weather impact alert day. We go into the end of the week, we could have several days of rainfall around. Some of it could be heavy, and you throw in saturated ground, the water doesn't have anywhere to go. And so we could be looking at some flooding potential here as we go towards the end of the week. Not set in stone yet, but I do want to just put that on your radar because after Wednesday, that could be our trend. So Wednesday's when things change. That's when we're going to have our next round of severe weather. Hail, wind, and even tornadoes, all possible. And in fact, almost the exact same locations are highlighted here with an enhanced risk for severe weather. From Chicago, Cincinnati, right here in St. Louis, down into Memphis and parts of Arkansas as well. So just make sure you're checking the forecast. Make sure on Wednesday, when the skies turn dark, you know where to go and you know how to get those warnings. Of course, the 5 Plus is the one we recommend, and we will be here streaming for you as those storms roll through. Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, that's where the storms are this morning. Same system that moved over us is moving through that part of the country. But here's our next system, Wednesday's storm maker. It's bringing rain to California, Oregon, and Washington, and even the higher elevations you have the snow. So to start the day, it's a cloudy one. We are looking at the Metro East, worldwide technology there with the clouds overhead and even in downtown. So we're 41 to start the day. The wind chill is in the 30s, and so you're definitely going to feel the chill to the air. Nothing like we had yesterday when we had highs in the 70s. Today, high temperatures will only get back into the 50s, about 58 degrees here in St. Louis. And we'll see some sun, but probably this afternoon. All right, that does it for me. I'm going to go do something that makes me feel better. Let's talk in traffic.
Yeah, just have a seat.
I'm to get out the vaccine world.
Yeah, have a seat, rest up, you know.
Take a respite.
Go look at TikTok. I'm just kidding. The fun stuff on TikTok, the good stuff. Okay, so here's why we do not stop watching an area after the accident has been cleared. And well after the accident has been cleared, we have even more traffic, very molasses-like, moving up here on 270 northbound at 30. So this would be approaching 44. And yeah, that Fenton area, also obviously the Merrimack leads right into that and then makes that immediate right. And we're very slow. The brake lights up there, kind of tilting my head to the brake lights. This is a crowded area for about 5 miles. You know this. The alternate routes are not great. I would try Lindbergh if I was you. It always depends on where you're going and where you're coming from. You know, it's hard to be on TV talking about great alternate routes, but use something if you can right now. And then what about coming out of the city? We're talking about 64-40, so not 44. 44 moving great. Even 55 is better than I would have expected, but 64-40 as you'd be approaching Kings Highway and then moving into the county past the zoo, we're only going 14 miles an hour. That's a slowdown I didn't expect. And then an accident on an alternate. What? Okay, we're talking about Route 3. Route 3 moving northbound is a way that some folks would avoid 255, which can be, further to the east. There's an accident right there. So that is Route 3 at, what's the road there? It's called Circle Creek Drive. Well, you know where it is. We will look at this and we'll have even more traffic coming up. Miss Michelle?
Hey, thanks so much. Hey, really quickly, can I just say this? We had a text in from one of our viewers. Thank you for bringing up the idiotic people who don't follow the science. It boggles my mind. Anthony, this is for you. Yes, I am enjoying the real life discussions, exactly how I feel. This is in regard to the measles and vaccination people. Anthony's so excited about this. Thank you also for texting in.
You gotta be real.
All right, well, let's Okay, Anthony feels vindicated. I got to move over, though, to TikTok and the TikTok Shop, because despite it being a real late player to the game, TikTok Shop has quickly amassed shoppers. TikTok Shop launched in 2023 when, other people have been in the game forever, like Amazon, for example, and Instagram, Facebook. They've all been selling on social media, but it added about 12 million buyers in the U.S. in 2024 alone. So that is the big difference here. TikTok Shop is at risk of disappearing, though. TikTok was given a 75-day extension. If you remember all of the hubbub, will TikTok be in our app stores or not? Because they need to find a U.S. buyer. And this is also what President Trump is supporting. But the TikTok owner, ByteDance, now has until April 5th to find a U.S. buyer. So this morning, we want to know, where do you do most of your online shopping? And you can see the clear winner here. 100% of the voters, with 2 people, says Amazon. Oh, yeah. Amazon. I think actually, Paul, you shop at Amazon the most too, right?
I do. That's mine. That's
well, and I would say online too, because I shop in person somewhere more than I shop online. Because I don't shop online.
You do, really?
I have to feel the fabric of the clothes.
Oh,
I have to try the shoe on.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
but with Amazon, you can try it on. You can try it before you buy it. So
what?
And then you can send it back. I will say I don't like that
I know
part.
this.
Yeah.
I don't like
Hold on, I got to
the
figure
returns.
out. The try before you buy it. I
Yeah,
need more.
there's a whole
cut you off,
thing.
but this is news to me.
Try it before you buy it.
Did you know that you could do this?
explain it. Well, kind of. I just thought I could send it back.
Yeah, you can, but there's also a program where you get clothes and you can just send it back if you don't.
We got to do this.
This is breaking news.
This is trusting the science.
Yes.
Listen.
Well,
I
trust Michelle because she's on the money.
She is on the money. Yeah, I trust her with a lot of stuff
on
like
weekends,
that.
right?
Oh, you're so
Saturday.
funny.
All right, a little sports
After
pivot.
the noon show on Friday, yeah. Okay.
I'm going to take this sports pivot here. NCAA tournament.
Oh,
Did you hear about this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So four seeds, 4 number 1 seeds. I think the reason I'm taking this right now is I don't know if you guys remember asking me a couple weeks ago what I picked to be in the Final Four. I said I'm really boring because I picked the 4 number 1 seeds, right?
Oh, did
to
you?
go to the Final Four, and I got it right. I got it right. Yes.
Wow.
And I'm boring and I'm not even winning. I don't know. But anyway, it's the first time since 2008, actually, that 4 number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four. And only the second time in history.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. And we talked about it. NIL. You want to talk about somebody going off on a rant? Get Michelle's take on NIL. I mean, that is funny and right.
I think you were surprised. You were like,
was.
oh, you actually can talk about the NIL name, image, and likeness.
Thank you.
I was like, can you tell me what NIL is?
Where the players are paid.
Because the Duke player gets like $4 million a year to play for Duke. So if you're not getting paid millions of dollars, you're not going to go to like Western Kentucky or Creighton or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, you go for the money.
And
so
they can
of course
raise
these
the
number
money.
1 seeds.
Yes, exactly. So that's interesting, right? Number 1 seed.
I mean, I think the players should get paid.
Right.
Because all these universities are making millions of dollars. Think about how much head coaches are getting to coach these teams, and then these kids don't have any time to go have another practice. Anyway, I could go on.
Yeah, and you're in practice nonstop. You don't get to go to the party and to the homecoming parade. You're out of town traveling.
Well, and it kind of makes them do illegal stuff. Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football.
Tell me, I don't know about this.
He was doing it illegally, right? He was running around. There's a big Netflix show on that. Have you guys ever heard of Netflix? No. But that he ran around selling stuff when he was supposed to be practicing, and because he didn't make any money. He was making so much money, most popular player for his team, and he wasn't making. He was making them so much money and didn't get any. So anyway, I went off track there. Auburn,
yes,
Duke,
okay, Florida,
who I picked to win, and then Houston are the number 1.
Wait, who did you pick to win? Duke?
Florida.
Okay, Florida. Interesting.
Florida over Duke.
And the championship will be played on
Monday, April 7th.
Monday.
It's gonna be bananas.
Then what's that Saturday?
Is it going to be
April
real
5th?
bananas?
It's going to be Savannah Bananas.
What is that? Saturday, April 5th. What is that? We're looking.
That'll be the Final Four. So you got two rounds left here. Yes.
Okay. You got to really, break it down for me because I don't know that much about sports.
Break it down.
But we don't have to go anywhere near Measles.
Can I just say this though? The school I hear every year that I didn't hear this year, Gonzaga.
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 You didn't know where Gonzaga is?
No,
It's in Washington State.
I know it's in Washington, but usually every year they're like in the.
That's a great point.
In the Final Four.
Yeah, like they get to the Sweet 16 like every year.
Every year I hear that team.
Yeah.
So does the University of Kansas.
Kansas generally does okay. Yes, not this year. All right, home of the Cardinals about to go bananas.
Yes.
Yes.
Not Gonzaga, but bananas because Busch Stadium coming up Friday and Saturday is going to host the Savannah Bananas. There they are. This thing's sold out. And I had a friend ask me to go on Friday night. I actually go. I'm like. And then my daughter said, you cannot get a ticket for that. You should go.
Wow.
So it's a musical thing with antics. I think Anthony would love it.
Yeah.
Games, all kinds of stuff like that. And the tickets are being sold, but they want to make sure you know not to be scammed because the team has seen, like, even on StubHub or other places where it's not an actual ticket to the Savannah Bananas.
Oh.
Okay, so how much did you get
more.
your ticket for?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? What do you mean you don't know?
He just asked me to go because I'm a nice guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's like, I got it for free, but I can't say it on TV right now.
Well, that's nice though because I put in for the lottery.
You did?
Yes,
see?
and I only got the lottery suite tickets, and I was like, oh, for $2,000, like,
Are
no, thank
you
you, you
serious?
know. Yeah, so I was like, well, I want regular tickets, not suite tickets.
Tell us, what is it really about? I mean, what is this?
It's just hilarity and, you know, just
like
bringing,
Globetrotters,
just
right?
bringing
For
fun
baseball.
back to baseball. And they dance and they do all kinds of, you know, fun stuff, and you're just like,
the
oh,
shoulders?
the bananas, yeah.
They shimmy the
Little
shoulders.
shoulder action. Well, hello.
What a show
All
today.
right.
We came out of the
I
gate
know.
firing on
It's
Monday.
on Monday.
night.
You know,
Yeah.
Friday we went off the rails because we were like so loopy after opening day, and Monday we're just like,
had no
ooh, yeah.
We're tired now,
Alright.
but that's
Wait.
the fun part.
Can I say something?
Yes.
We had a new text in. Temu is my addiction.
I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot.
I
And-
tried to buy something on Temu, but I had to download the app, and I was like, oh, forget it. I'm not doing it.
And a lot of people, it kind of can be junky, right? It can be a little bit cheaper.
Well, so can the TikTok
sometimes.
shop. I actually
Yeah,
got this
I've heard
little
that
guy
too.
off the TikTok shop. This
You have
is
some
like
cool stuff.
Yeah, I just buy a lot of stuff off TikTok.
What
shop.
is that?
It's supposed to be a storage thing where I can
Yeah.
take all my videos and pictures and put it
Wow.
on this hard drive and then put it in my computer. Anyway,
Does it work?
I don't know. I just got it.
All right.
I'm getting the weather.
Yeah, we're
in
getting
my
a
ear
wrap.
because we're getting
I
close
haven't
to
heard
end
a
time.
thing.
Let me go to the graphics. I don't mean to check out mentally, but
Oh,
you know, I was
sorry.
trying to do
Oh,
two things at once. But yes, I hear you about the shopping thing. It's on, Paul. It's on. All right. Severe weather risks. That's where we're headed towards Wednesday. Of course, yes, this is springtime. This is what we get this time of year. Storms, warm days, and then eventually the cool days. So today is that cool day. The storms will be coming on in for Wednesday. Futurecast shows the quiet weather for today. Clouds clearing away. We'll have more clouds as we go through tomorrow, but no rain today and no rain tomorrow either. In the morning on Wednesday, when you wake up, there will be storms across western Missouri. These will be working their way towards us through the day. So you'll actually be able to wake up, flip on the radar, flip on 5+, wherever you watch, and you'll be able to see these storms working their way towards us as we go towards the heating of the day. 2, 3 o'clock, there they are, and they roll on through by the evening hour. So just keep in mind, Wednesday, that is our next round of storms and could be some bad weather. So our weather impact alert stands for Wednesday. It's going to be warm, 2 up to 80. Look at all the rain that's coming our way. We could have a couple inches of rain, maybe 2 to 5 inches of rain when it's all said and done. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, showers and storms will be with us. We, of course, will keep you posted with that. Let's keep you posted with more traffic now and get back over to Paul with the big map.
To the moment, right? So I'm not going to waste your time when there's not a ton of terrible traffic out there. It's really just about that high volume area of 270 northbound at 44. Otherwise, normal traffic, light volume out there, not terrible. Sometimes it could be here at this time. So I'm glad you are watching, but all good right now.
Thanks so much. Hey, I want to, gosh, we're getting so many texts, and I wanted to, I wish I could show this to you. Can you see this?
I
Really
can.
good? It's kind of,
sorry, I just
this
stumped
came
in
from
front
our
of the camera.
viewer Ruth, and this is from her sister and Bernie, but there's a little quarter there, and then this is the actual, that's a pretty big.
Yeah.
Where's Bernie?
Wow.
Okay.
I'd say,
Ruth's from.
Is it Bern?
No, she says Bernie. I mean, granted, you know, with
Bernie.
autocorrect, who knows?
I know Bern's Mill,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure about Bern. Maybe that's a
That's
slain for
huge.
Burns Mill.
Listen, we're almost out of time, so I just want to get to our high five today because it is someone who is 5 years old. We're wishing a very happy belated birthday to Bryce. He celebrated his birthday back on 3/14 day.
Aw.
So adorable.
Great skin, good teeth.
Wow. Loves his family,
HD.
friends, music, and coloring, and of course the Cardinals
jealous.
and the Illini basketball team. But thanks to Tyler and Amy, his parents, for sending this in. And we want to give your big birthday shout out to anyone who's going to turn 5, 314-425-5355, and you might see your favorite 5-year-old right here. Just love it so much. And so that is our high five.
Are you gonna rest after this? You gonna go
Take
back?
a brief
Yeah,
respite.
after a little respite.
Maybe. We got more weather to do at 8:30. So
You gotta watch
stay
it
tuned
back,
for
and
that.
you can see this on the app. You can see this on the website. If you
Yeah.
want to rewatch.
Yeah.
If you want to rewatch,
And you should.
Anthony, get excited. All right, we're excited for our next cut in. We're going to cut back to Channel 5 with some more weather and traffic and news. But thanks for waking up with us on 5 Plus this morning. Have a great day.